G'day guys. This afternoon, what I'd like to talk about is this idea of dividing fractions, and specifically talking about dividing algebraic fractions. And there are only two steps to dividing algebraic fractions. The steps are: number one, KFC the expression. And I'll explain what I mean by KFC the expression in a second. And then number two is just follow all the steps of multiplication. So before we get into KFCing, let's just recap our steps of multiplication. And remembering our steps to multiplying fractions are: number one, you multiply numerators together. Number two, you multiply denominators together. Number three, check, can I simplify the numbers in this fraction? And we do that by typing it on our calculator. And finally, can I simplify the algebra? Is there an algebraic term in the numerator and in the denominator that I can cross out? Remember, I can only cross out one from the top and the bottom if they match. So that's it. If you're not sure, there's a link here that takes us back to talking about multiplying fractions, and you can watch that video. So now, moving back. What do I mean by KFC the expression? And by KFCing the expression, what I'm talking about is when we're dividing fractions, you keep the first fraction the same. So there's our K. Our F stands for you flip the second fraction. So you swap the numerators and the denominators around. And finally, C is you change that division sign to a multiplication sign. So let's go ahead and look at that. So here in our example, we have 2x over 5, and we're going to divide it by 7yx over 10x. So my first steps that I'm going to do is we are going to KFC this. So by KFCing it, we are going to keep that first fraction the same. 2x over 5 stays 2x over 5. F stood for flip. So we're going to flip 7yx and 10x. So that now is going to become 10x over 7yx. We just did the switcheroo there. And finally, I'm going to change that division symbol into multiplication symbol. Step one for dividing fractions done. We now forget about dividing and we jump straight into, well, how did I multiply these fractions? And remembering, multiplying fractions, we multiplied numerator with numerator. So we do 2 times 10, and then we multiply the x's together. And after we multiplied the numerators, we multiplied the denominators. 5 times 7 times y times x. Now we simplify what we can. 2 times 10, 20. And I'm just going to, for the moment, leave 20xx. We know that 20xx is actually 20x squared, but I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. I'm going to leave that till the end. We're up to now multiplying denominators, 35yx. Now at this stage here, you grab your calculator out, and I want you to type the fraction 20 over 35 to see if the numbers can simplify. So we're going to check 20 over 35 on our calculator. And when we check 20 over 35 on our calculator, we're going to end up getting the result 4 on 7. So instead of using 20 over 35, we're now going to use 4 over 7. And that's going to be our numbers in our fraction. Cool. So 4 over 7, 4xx over 7yx. Now you noticed I've crossed one x out from the top and one x out from the bottom. Remember, we did that because if there is one in the top and one in the bottom, they match, we divide them out. They simplify out. And then we write our final answer. We've simplified everything. We are now left with 4x over 7y. So in summary, to divide fractions, you KFC those bad boys. Keep the first, Flip the second, change the divide into a multiplication. After KFCing it, you now just follow the steps for multiplication. Multiply numerators together. Multiply the denominators together. Check the numbers on your calculator to see if that fraction simplifies. Cross out algebra from the top and algebra out from the bottom if they match. If nothing matches, leave it, job done, thanks for coming. That's how we divide fractions.